Hey, friends and neighbors, it's your good buddy Steve Greenwood, Nashville's favorite realtor. Oh, yeah. And I'm here to do a quick video, hopefully, quick video for you on using Realtracs to estimate home prices. This is a skill that you need to have because whenever someone calls you and asks you, can you list their house, you want to be good at understanding how to come up with a great price. Do not just go and look at Zestimate and just use that as the listing price. There are some factors and some things that we can take into account, and we can use the data that is available to us in Realtracs to come up with a price that I believe usually has me pretty close to what the actual price of the house should be. All right. So before we jump into this, let's just think about a couple of factors that are outside of the data. Okay. First of all, we're in a really difficult market right now. That market is heavily tilted, maybe not heavily, it's at least tilted toward buyers, which simply means that a seller, they might get 5 to 10 or even $15,000 less for their house right now than they might have gotten for it a year ago or whatever. So we need to understand the type of market we're in. People are buying houses, people are selling houses, but for the most part, I think it's sufficiently proven that buyers are having an easier time than sellers. So keep that in mind. The quality of the house. If you're looking at something that, man, every time you turn a corner, you just see that, wow, that's so nice. That's really well done. Even if it's not in a super expensive house, then that compares against another house that maybe is kind of run down or it has all kinds of things that are just old, even if they're still working. You need to be able to understand the differences in the qualities of what you see in the house. The other thing that is just a third thing to keep in mind is the location. Location is always important in real estate, right? So if you're looking in urban areas or within a town's city limits in more of the town part rather than a rural or more remote country location, that will have an impact. A three-bedroom, two-bath house in Nashville that is exactly like another one, say in Pleasant View or in Springfield. The one in Nashville is just simply going to be a little more valuable because prices are a little higher in town. So be able to kind of look at things and keep those things in mind. So like let's say Springfield or Portland, if it's in like the city part of those places, it is also going to be a little more valuable potentially than something that's out in the country, but that still may have like a Portland or a Springfield address. You just got to be able to look at these things and know how to generate comps that will help you see what the potential value is of a house. Okay. So, also just kicking this off, just want to tell you once again, I hope that I never get tired of telling you this. You can totally do this. If I have been able to do it, I promise you have everything that it takes and you can learn the skills necessary to help you become an all-star realtor. There's no doubt in my mind you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. So, how are we going to do this? So, I'm going to begin to share my screen with you, and then I'm going to try not to get too hung up in things. But if I ever leave something unanswered that you wish that I would have spoken to, just shoot me a question. You could text me, you could put a comment, whatever, email me. But I also want to say this too. As you learn how to do this and you develop your skills, this is not intended to be me saying to you, this is the only way that you can figure out a home valuation. This is the way that I do it. You are going to learn to do things in a better way than me. And I hope when you do, you are going to share that with me so we can share it with each other. All right. So, this is not meant to be an exhaustive, one way only. You take this and you apply your own skills, your own experiences to it to make it better, okay? So now sharing the screen is going to begin, and I'm going to start in Realtracs. We're going to share our screen now, and I am going to just give you the content of the web page because I don't want anything else in the way. All right. So here we are. We are in Realtracs, okay? The way that I want to start this is by showing you just a three-bedroom, two-bath house that's 1,170 square feet, located in Madison, Tennessee. This is a good place because this is a house that's just about to come on the market, which means they've just had a lot of conversations with their realtor about how they should price their house. So consider from our other factors. The market we're in, a little easier on buyers. So that probably means you want to bring your price under a little bit, right? Under maybe what the comps say. Remember, this is an urban location that's within the city limits of Nashville, Tennessee, a highly developed area. So it's not in the country. This same house out in the country, maybe $10,000, $20,000 less. So we got that. And then we're going to look at the condition and just kind of make some comparisons. Does it have good curb appeal? Does it look nice? Is it updated at all? What's the real thing here? All of these things are factors. So to begin with, looking at 1413 Ocoee Trail, which by the way, you can pull out your own computer and be looking at these things while we are, and you can do this with me if you want. But I'm just going to take a look at some of the pictures with you. All right, look how beautiful this living room is. You can tell this paint job looks good. Looking into the kitchen, you can see it's got the same flooring throughout these two rooms. Looks like they've done some cool design stuff on the back of this counter or bar. You got a good sized dining room, upgraded cabinets. The color maybe a little wacky compared to this one, but this presents a very beautiful look to me. So let's look at a couple other pictures. Here's the front view. So this is just right off the street, right? They have a driveway, no garage. Garage, no garage. That is something to keep in mind whenever you're comparing homes as well. Okay, another factor that people like to have or care about, whatever. So, but this is a good looking house from outside and inside. Let's take a look at a few more pictures. All right, you can see they've got everything nice and clean. They've got the bushes trimmed, and they've got some new things planted down here. You got a little pot up here by the door. It's a really, really good thing. It's a very attractive house. So good curb appeal. Obviously not a fixer-upper. The woodwork on the railings looks really good. The soffits and the parts of the siding that you could see here all look clean. So these are all good signs that you have a more valuable listing, okay? So then just taking a look at some of the pictures, these are some of the things I notice. All right, very clean appearing, updated lighting. This shows some attention to the fact that they're in an older home, but they've updated things, and that kind of carries through the whole house as we go looking a little deeper. See, look here, you got this kind of trendy hanging pendant light here. You got this design. All of these are new fixtures that are part of this home, which is kind of nice. Got a little coffee area. It's got enough room for a table for four, which could easily accommodate six. And then we've got their lovely little kitchen here, butcher block countertops, and the updated cabinetry and pulls and all that good stuff. Where's the sink? Oh, there it is. So they got this nice farm sink, which is so nice. People love that. That's an update, okay? These are all things that show you are not dealing with a home that's in the bottom half of quality. You're dealing with a home that's probably in the top 10% of the quality scale compared to the other homes that we're going to look at, okay? So I don't want to spend too much time there. Let's click out of this and let me take you to a search screen. Okay, so this is in Madison, 37115. Now I'm going to take you to Realtracs, a different page, and I just opened up two windows so we could do this. But you're coming in here and you're looking at search. You're going to select listing search. And then you come here and you're going to start at the top. You're going to pick the property class. It's a residential. You're not trying to do a rental. You're not selling an apartment building or a business of some kind or a big piece of land that's got a farm on it. You're just doing residential. So we're clicking that. Property subtype. You are looking to compare it only to other detached homes, but really only the site built homes. All right. Well, we'll leave the HPR detached. Okay. So what these mean, I think you probably realize this, but modular home, manufactured foundation, manufactured mobile. These are homes that were built somewhere else with lighter materials, less long-lasting materials, and the house was put together somewhere else and brought to this property. We're looking for something that was built on that site, okay? So an HBR detached, this is one of these lots that you might come in contact with in Nashville where there was once one house and a nice sized backyard, and now they have torn down the house and they have turned it into an HPR so that they could build a second house on a second lot. They've taken one lot, split it into two, and now there are two houses on the same lot where there used to be just one. But now these are site built. So this is what you do for the property subtype. Site built HPR detached, because that's the type of house that we're looking at, okay? So attached, these are all different types of things. We don't really want to see how these all matched up. We want to pick the homes that have the best comparable details to the one that we're looking at, which remember is right here. This is 3 bedrooms. This is 2 baths. It's 1,170 square feet, no garage, but it's on 0.18 of an acre. So after you've selected the property type, the properties or the class and the subtype, come to listing statuses. What I want to do is I want to see the active homes and the coming soon homes because that will show me the prices of things that are on the market right now. That's just a good thing to see, to compare to what's available in the neighborhood right now. And then always, this is the biggie for me though, it's like closed. What has actually sold? You can set the range for the last 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, or even 5 years if you want to. But for the purpose of establishing a good number for right now, I would say you want to do most of your comps right now in this market using 1 year in the past as your range. Okay. If we get into a hotter market, if interest rates come down, then I would start doing it under 6 months because a lot can happen in 1 year, in 6 months' time, if the rates drop a point and a half, like President Trump would love to see them do. All right, so we're going to close this. I hope this is not too boring. I hope you can follow along with this. So this shows us the entire map, right? So now, after we've picked the type of house we want and the types of properties either for sale now or closed in the last year, and you're going to come down here and you're going to put in the zip code for this particular area. So Madison 37115. That's the only place we're interested, right? So you could just put something in the city here if you wanted to, but let me just tell you, whenever you do if you're trying to search for comps across areas, places like Donaldson, you can't put that in as the city. You've got to put in the zip code. Well, if you start mixing up zip codes and city names, it's not gonna work right. So if it doesn't have its own city name, just learn to know what those zip codes are. So if we were going to do something in Madison and Donaldson, I wouldn't put Madison and then 37214 here for Donaldson. It's going to confuse our search results. So only put the zip codes, okay? So if we were going to do that, we would put that here. Subdivision, if it's in a very tight fast moving sales area of a subdivision, this is one way that you can get it pretty tight. But we're going to keep it wide to begin with, and then I'll show you what we do next, okay? So we want to find out what closed, and we want to find out what's available now with the same thing. So remember how many bedrooms we have? 3 bedrooms. So we're going to say minimum 3, maximum 3. How many bathrooms does this place have? It has 2. Let's make that the minimum. And then let's make the max also 2. It's only going to show us results that match those things. And then let's do the same thing with square footage. But I will say here, it's good to include a little bit of a range of maybe 200 or 300 square feet. So if this one's 1170, I might come in here and say a minimum of 1,000 square feet and a maximum of 13. like say 1,300. That gives us room on either side of the 1,170 square feet that this house on Ocoee Trail has, right? All right, so now we've got that. We've got some different things, and we are not including any garage spaces because we don't want to see what's sold with the garage. We want to see what is sold um, as much as close to this particular house that we are trying to consider as possible. Okay. So then when you've done all that, you enter search and this pulls up a whole map. This is everything that is on that result here in Madison. Okay. It says there's 51. So the gray means it's coming soon. Green means it's available right now. Red means these are all sales from the last year. So you can see how Madison kind of stretches in lots of different areas. So this one on Ocoee Trail is actually down here, okay? And so what I'm going to do is you can use this draw tool to help you really get in line with where we're looking, okay? So if you were to use a circle, you could center it around this area and you could just grow it. Okay. So I like to look within 1 mile of the subject property. And let's see how this one is. How far out is this? Oh, 1.1. Okay. See here at the bottom, it tells us this is a 1 mile radius. Well, this is a little weird because, okay, this crosses the river, and over here it's in Old Hickory and Lakewood. We're not looking to compare it to homes over here on the other side of the river. Those could be very different. So what I do is I'll just take my circle and I'll drag it, and it makes the edge of my circle where we this house is, but then it gives us more exposure to other homes that I think are good comps for us. Okay, all in Madison, all 3 bedrooms, all 2 bathrooms. So once you've done that and you exit drawing mode, you can then hit search listings again. And remember, right now we get 51. Let's watch what happens. This brings it down to 10. It's always better to get your circle, the area you're considering for comps, as tight as possible without cutting off really great comps. Okay. So here, let's just what I always do. What's available on the market right now? Well, here we go. We see there this Ocoee Trail's coming at 349. We see another one just down the street from it on Ocoee Trail that is for sale for 314,000. That is $35,000 less. So I would click on this and I would take a look at the pictures of this house, and I would say curb appeal, it looks very similar to the one that we're looking at on just down the road from here. All right, let's look inside. So very looks like it's very clean. It's got an older kind of cream paint. But design wise, that fireplace and the mantle looks nice. They've got it staged to look pretty nice. The flooring looks good to me. But as we are going through this, we begin to see, oh, okay, the same flooring isn't in the kitchen. The appliances, they look older. The cabinetry looks older. Countertop looks dated. This is not the same type of house. The lighting is dated. It hasn't been updated. This little can light thing looking down on just the basic aluminum tube basin sink. This is just an evidence that you're not looking at a house of the same quality. That doesn't mean it isn't valuable. It certainly is. They've got a beautiful home here. But when we look at this one, and then we look at the other one here on Ocoee Trail that we were comparing it to, there may be some things that make you go, oh, that is a lot nicer. But the question you got to start asking yourself with each thing that you look at, you go, is it $35,000 nicer? Especially in this market. So that's what I like to do. I like to just take a quick glance at the different homes that are for sale. Let's look at 1421 Mohawk. It is practically the same size, but it is actually $10,000 more than the one we're looking at as our subject property at 1413 Ocoee. So what do we see when we look here? It's got kind of an attractive stone exterior, new windows. Looks like these posts up front have been put in to kind of update the front of it. It's got curb appeal. But we don't know what we're looking at here. This is something we need to look a little closer into, right? Maybe these people have undersold themselves. So when you come in, we see you got exposed beams that are painted dark. Looks like you got new flooring. This is absolutely someone's flip. Okay. You can see by the blue on these appliances. These are brand new appliances, brand new floor, probably brand new paint, new windows, new doors, all of this up here, the lighting, all of this is new. So, as an investor, someone has come in and they're like, we need to get this much. 359, okay? So that's where they've started their pricing. So as we look through this, it would be good to see how long has this house been on the market. So the way to do that is we hit close here and we could see at 359, look at this, days on market, 52 days. 52 days. So that gives us a hint that 359.9 is too much, even for this house that has had everything basically done to it. Okay. So if we wanted to know what the history of the listing has been, we can come down here and look at this history. Get used to knowing how to read this. It was put on the market 321 and at 359.9, and now we are getting to the second half of May almost, and it is still not sold. This is a clear sign that this house, which is beautiful, kind of, maybe not so much on the outside, it is priced too high. All right. Now, again, that's just one more piece of data that we're going to put in to try to help us determine what this house should be listed for at 1413 Ocoee. All right. So that gives us a couple that we have looked at that are on the market now. So one of the next things I like to do is I like to then go in to look at the sold homes. Okay. And what I generally will do, I generally won't include the lowest one and I typically won't include the highest one, okay? Because that usually is a good sign that these may be outliers, okay? So, but what I like to do is I come in and I select all of these with this little check mark. I select all of these that are all in the same area as the one that we are contemplating selling. Okay, this is interesting. The one on Tamarack and then the one on Peeler. Peeler is a very specific street that has larger lots, larger homes in general. So we're going to leave this one out, Peeler Trail. Okay. So this is kind of where we kind of get into where the rubber meets the road. Okay. Now we're going to look at all of the stats for these sold ones. So in the last year, the average size, look, is right under the size of our house that we're looking at over here on Ocoee. All right, 3-2, that's correct. The size of the lot, almost the same. All right, so then if we go looking through on down this line, we can see that the average list price was 316 and the average sales price was 316. So I mean that's pretty good. If they almost are at 100% sales price to list price, that's a good sign. Um, so what does this tell us about the house that we're looking at here on Ocoee Trail? In this market, this is showing us that most of the houses have sold for under this price. And remember, whenever we looked at the one that was active right now, that was listed at 314,000, we were like, it's $35,000 less. That is showing us that their realtor has said to them, look, here's the facts. This is where you live. This is in Madison. These are homes that have sold. And this helps us know even if it's very, very nice in this market, to me, these numbers show that this house, 349.9, is probably too much. If it doesn't go under contract in the first week, then they're gonna have to they're gonna really be in a waiting game, I'm afraid for them. So, but it is significantly nicer. So I think I do believe that that matters. So then, if we looked at the ones that are on the top end, I try to look at things this way. Look here, we've got one that listed at 355 and it sold for 348. This is last August, and it only took it 24 days to get under a contract. So that's a pretty good sign. It's just slightly larger, okay? So if we were looking at these averages, and we see that the average sales price ended up around 316, and having taken out the 230 and taken out the 395, this is going to give us a pretty good snapshot of how things should go. So how would I determine how would I determine what the extra quality is worth to this house? I think the extra quality touches that are included on this one on Ocoee Trail, it would make me look at that average, and I would probably start with an upper end of like 339, 340. As we look at areas of the city, Madison and parts of Madison are not really in demand for a variety of reasons. And you will have some opportunities to understand some of those reasons why. But it's a very, very nice house. But honestly, looking at these comps, if I were sitting with the people who own 1413 Ocoee Trail, I would encourage them to list this house somewhere between 333 and 339. And this is something that's super important. Once you feel like you're getting good at this, always give the seller a range of what you think is possible. Always tell them no one has a crystal ball. No one has the ability to know exactly because there's so many factors that are constantly changing. Tell them you're confident in your numbers, but that you have to let the market speak. These are very important things to make sure you say because you got one chance to set them up right where they don't have any false expectations. Or they don't have expectations that are impossible for you to meet. Okay, this is something that you. Oh, that's not the right one. This is something that you have to manage well. Trust me, I have told people based on where they lived and how nice I thought their home was, I was like, oh, you're going to get this number. And I really didn't do enough homework to know that. And so then I end up having to come back and say, it's too high. And I told you I was sure we were going to sell. Don't put yourself in that corner, okay? I can't stress that enough. So this is another reason why I want to keep reminding you practice. If most of your homes are going to be in a certain area, or if you're trying to focus on a certain area, get to know what homes are selling for. You can look up any home that's for sale right now, and you can do your own homework and you can do your own practice knowing how to help someone price a home. And Realtracs has a ton of data that we can use. So this residential property CMA report, often I will save this as a PDF and take it along with me when I'm going to be having this meeting with a seller. Because again, you have to be able to show them it's not just a feeling, it's something that you knew you felt really strong and you've done homework to try to figure this out. I just noticed one other thing that really is hurting this number right here. Also, this house, the very top one, 1912 Gulf Breeze Point. Look at this. It went under contract the exact day, and it closed with a cash buyer 12 days later. This means this was practically a home that was bought off market. which means if they would have gone through the process of and not just wanted to dump the home, this 271 would probably be up here with this 315, honestly, because this house was decent whenever we looked at this. Someone looks at that, it's even got one garage. So, but it's old and it was full of stuff. And probably this was someone whose elderly relative might have passed away, and suddenly they were like, we need to sell this house. They didn't mess around. They took the first decent offer that they got, and they sold it in 12 days. Okay. So this one's not necessarily um, as great of a comp as what I might have originally thought. But let's just go back to this real quick. And what if we took this one out, left these other guys in? Let's look and see what the average selling price is now. All right, new CMA. Look at this. It just went up right below that range that we were just talking about. 333 to 340. I think that's as high as this house needs to go. The extra quality does come into play. It is worth something. The house is beautiful and turnkey, and that is probably going to get them the higher price. So hopefully, whenever we watch this one go on the market, hopefully we'll find a buyer that wants to buy it, and it will go for this price. But if you check back on this house, 1413 Ocoee Trail, in 30 days' time, it might still be for sale. It may be gone. It may be for sale, and it may be 60 days ish before it sells. And I bet you it ends up selling in the high 330s. So I have come to that conclusion based on the things that I told y'all. And I am excited about you learning how to do these things too. So let me pop out of here. We are part of a group of people who are providing service to folks, and we need to be good at it. We don't need to treat any of these big decisions that buyers and sellers are going to make with anything less than just wonderful care, putting our whole mind into it, asking for help, finding some other people to help us come up with it. It is never a bad thing to go to another realtor and say, "Hey, I'm getting ready to list this. Would you give me your idea of what it would be? I have one in mind that I'll share with you after you tell me yours." But do the homework and then run it past someone. I would be happy to be that someone for you, okay? But find other realtors that you know that will also talk with you about this. See how they do things. One of my good buddies that's also with EXP, Troy Charlton, he has a little bit different way of viewing things. And sometimes I need to think more like him. And I think sometimes he needs to think more like me. So we have performed that kind of service for one another to tell each other what we thought a certain listing would likely go for. And that's something that we can all do together, okay? So I'm gonna end this here. I'm gonna post this up for y'all to watch as soon as possible. And just want to remind you guys, I'm praying for you. I believe in you. I think if you just continue to meet people, make friends, look for how you can serve, the Lord is going to bring you in contact with people that you can bless and that will be a blessing to you. So, talk to you soon. Text me, call me anytime. Y'all have a good one.